Hey guys, Cal the Death Knight of Enemy here, bringing you my review for Dragon Ball Super Episode 106. And let's just jump into this chapter because there's a bit to talk about for sure. First off, I want to talk about the beginning of this episode, about how there's this whole about how that whole thing about how people were shot at left and right, but basically those two guys from, I think it was Universe 2. And the one thing that popped in my head when I was watching that was, I was is it legal? Didn't they say it was illegal to kill your opponent in this tournament? And then it kind of popped in my head that, oh yeah, you can't be disqualified if you can't really be seen. And in a way that really kind of questions that, honestly, just the fact that these two fighters were able to get away with this whole hit and run sniper technique strategy. It really brings into question the limited power of both the Grand Priest and the Zenos possess. Either that, if they can't stop two people from two measly fighters from cheating, either that or this is just feeding into the whole theory that we've all pretty much been talking about, with how there's been all these shady dealings going on behind the tournament and whatnot. And Grand Priest, we're definitely still looking at you, motherfucker. You're definitely planning some shady shit. But yeah, this, if Zeno and the Grand Priest aren't even willing to stop, I guess at the end of the day they weren't really killing anyone, because at the end of the episode there was that whole whole Warthog who was being targeted in the beginning Warthog fighter in the beginning ended up wasn't dead. So I guess there's that. But I almost wish they would have followed through on that in order to kind of say, okay, yeah, these guys are cheating, so we have to eliminate them, kind of thing. But oh well. I wish there was a little more follow through. I guess there's I wish there was a little more follow through with that whole cheating thing, honestly. Oh, sorry about that, guys. But yeah, that is one little thing I wish was follow through. Now, Tien. Let's talk about Tien, shall we? He was eliminated in this episode, and to me, I feel Tien's potential development was squandered in this whole episode, because, yes, I'm willing to admit when he did good shit. He did go in, he did eliminate another fighter alongside himself. He committed the whole double elimination thing. He eliminated himself alongside another fighter. But the problem I have with the way it was with what happened to Tien in here is the way it was all executed at the end of the day. Everything Tien did, it never really felt like he earned that whole never felt like he earned that win for Universe 7. To me, there wasn't any build up to it. He was just kind of there helping out, and I didn't feel invested towards his moment, because compared to Master Roshi, for instance, last episode, I was invested as fuck with Master Roshi, and I think the reason is because Master Roshi was pretty much the entire sole focus. But here, we had all this other shit going on in the background that Tien, I feel it didn't feel like he earned that victory, or he just wasn't in the spotlight enough for me to say, oh, so Tien got damn, that's heavy. Again, we can say what we want about Dragon Ball Super, it has its problems, but at the end of the day, when it does the execution of investment right with the character, it does it right, and it did that with Master Roshi. So I just don't get as to why it couldn't do that with Tien here. The only thing that makes sense to me, honestly, is that at this point in time, either Toei or Toriyama, or one of these two, Totoya or Toriyama, one of these two, I don't think one of these two are definitely responsible. We know that because as far as Toei is the studio, but Toriyama is the one who writes the draft scripts. And I think one of these two elements, one of these two, or maybe both of them, but one of these two just doesn't know what to do with Tien anymore. Like, I think Tien is just sort of an afterthought to both Toei and this is just an afterthought too. It's just an afterthought in terms of it's just an afterthought character at this point. Like, I don't think that they even really care about Tien at this point, and that is really a shame because Tien did have a lot of good moments in Dragon Ball. He had a lot of good moments in Dragon Ball Z, but yeah, I guess that was the limit as far as briefly as far as we're going with him, which is a real shame. Real shame. But yeah. But I'm done talking about the bad stuff that happened with Tien. Let's talk about the good stuff, because to me, the highlight of this episode, it all revolved around Vegeta in this episode. Like, Vegeta was just going in, kicking asses, taking names, and doing his thing, his Gallic Gun thing. And just seeing Vegeta and Goku's combo of Gallic Gun and Kamehameha, or just, like I said, just Vegeta using Gallic Gun in a whole, and just seeing him fight in general, just seeing Vegeta go in, that shit was just hype as hell, because, like, especially with Vegeta using Gallic Gun, I got really excited for that, and I think the main reason is that a lot like the Kaioken technique, I feel that the Gallic Gun is also kind of making a bit of a return, an honest to goodness comeback in the series alongside the Kaioken technique, because well, let's be fair. As far as Gallic Gun, I think we can assume that aside from the fact that it was being used in the Future Trunks arc, it is definitely. I noticed that Gallic Gun was being used less and less as Dragon Ball Z was basically going. Gallic Gun was being used less and less as Gallic Gun was going on through the series, but yeah, it's just good, and that's the one strength I think Super has, is that it's bringing all these old elements we love, and we these old elements that we love, and we these old elements from Z and Dragon Ball that we just can't get enough of, and I really like that. I really like that. Especially, like I said, Gallic Gun, Vegeta, Gallic Gun, that shit's just hype. And just Vegeta in general just going in, all that was just amazing to me. But yeah, and and one tiny little tidbit, I guess, to note is that the fighter who could absorb those energy blasts. It is interesting to note that his powers are kind of like basically act like a thermal radar. So it is kind of at least interesting little tidbit that apparently that they are mixing a little bit of science and real world science with creativity and real world application together in order to say, hey, yeah, so this is a real world thing, so we thought we'd use it, kind of thing. But yeah, it is. But yeah, it is a little interesting tidbit. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I have to say. Like I said, this episode, it just felt like there was much like Master Roshi, who got his potential, who got his moments, and we were invested all the way through. But Tien, what can I say? It just felt wasted. And I don't know if it's Toei or Toriyama. I don't know who did it, but who's responsible for it. But yeah, I'm assuming you guys just don't know what the fuck you want to do with Tien anymore. But I've said my piece on Tien. But if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.